presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Welcome to Tony Bennett's favorite city by the bay, San Francisco, California, where the Cincinnati Reds are going to try to do something they haven't done since the 1970s, that sweep a 4-game series. They've taken the first three, 3-1, 6-2, and 7-3 against Bruce Bochy's Giants. Today, Brian Price, a native of the Bay Area, will try to bring his hometown team to a sweep in San Francisco. Hi, hello, and welcome to San Francisco, everyone, along with Jim Day and the crafty left-hander Chris Welch. I'm George Grant. Chris, we've been coming here a lot of years. The Reds have played about as good a baseball as they've ever played here.
Well, they've played complete games, George. I think that's really what impresses everybody here in the Bay Area in this particular trip. They've gotten good starting pitching. They're scoring runs. They're playing good defense. And here's the history of the sweep. 4-game sweep. Well, May the 12th in 2012, the Reds had a 4-game sweep in Atlanta. In Milwaukee in 2002. Now you start going back a ways. Back to 1985 and 1972, both those in San Francisco. So it's one of those things where, it's awfully hard, as you can tell, to have a 4-game sweep. Everything's got to go good. You've got to be on a roll. You've got to have a couple of breaks go your way. And so far, so good for the Reds. However, they've got a little getaway magic working for them here today, too.
Well, all of the above has worked for the Reds so far, and coming up, Homer Bailey is set to go against Hudson. It's Bailey against Hudson. Final of the series. JD will be filling us in. A whole lot more to come. Reds and the Giants from Candlestick's new ballpark, AT&T, next on Fox Sports Ohio.
In San Francisco, Reds going for a 4-game sweep over the Giants. I'm Jim Day, and the Reds, well, they've been good in these 4-game sets. It's part of our Elk and Elk storylines, brought to you by Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Best record 4-game series since 2012. How about the Redlegs on top? Better than the Rangers, Nationals, and New York Yankees. Our Elk and Elk storylines, and perhaps a sweep today. George and Chris, the Giants have never been swept in a 4-game series here at AT&T Park.
Right, JD, you'll be filling us in on some of that history and a whole lot more from right down by the dugout of the Reds, who are ready to get to work. Pinched in, Sandoval at third, Duvall at first because Hamilton's at the plate, and Hudson delivers pitch number 1, Chris.
Tim Hudson now 38 years old, and I guess if the Giants had to pick one pitcher to keep from getting swept, who you'd put out there, it would probably be this veteran. Making start number 443 in his major league career, and it has been an awfully good one. It has seen him win 212 games, lose only 115. Terrific string of years with the Oakland A's, the Atlanta Braves, and now a first year of a 2-year deal with the San Francisco Giants.
So the veteran against the rookie, Billy Hamilton, and Hamilton has been outstanding in this series, coming in 7 for 14. He had 3 more hits yesterday, but they take care of him here on a ground ball out. Let's check your Cincinnati Reds starting lineup for Brian Price, sponsored by Meyer. Hamilton leads it off. Todd Frasier bats second. Hamilton, Frasier, and Bruce all against San Francisco this year, over 300. Cozart in the series 4 for 12, and he was involved in just about everything on the ground with ground balls last night. Phillips, who homered last night, will hit in the cleanup spot. And Brian Price, a native of Northern California, trying to take home the Reds' first 4-game sweep since the 70s. The Reds won game number 1 3-1 behind Mike Leake. Game number 2 behind Johnny Cueto 6-2. And then thanks to a home run from Brandon Phillips on his birthday, they took a lead, lost the lead in the 9th, but won it in the 11th with 5 runs in the 11th, 7-3 last night. But another great performance by Alfredo Simon, even though he didn't get a win. Here's Frasier, jammed down to short. Crawford has it, and there's 2 away. Now check your San Francisco Giants defensive alignment, sponsored by Ford. The Giants with 53 errors. That's 21 more errors than the Reds. Morse, Blanco, Pence in the outfield. Pence tied for the league lead with assist from right field. Sandoval, Crawford, Panik and Duvall. Panik and Duvall both up from Fresno, 2 rookies on the right side. And Buster Posey, who had the night off to start last night, but then came in as a pinch hitter, is back behind the plate catching. Now a quick 1-2-3 for Hudson. He's done that a lot through his 17-year career. To the mound for the Reds, Homer Bailey against Blanco, next on Fox Sports Ohio. Shadow the Golden Gate Bridge, Cincinnati Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, being brought to you by your Ford dealer. Ford, go further. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? Hey, it's Skyline time. Well, no matter where you sit here, you got a view. But that's a pretty good view, and it's got to be a little cooler there too, Chris.
Very nice out there, George. I'll tell you what, this is about as nice a ballpark as you will see. You can talk all you want about Pittsburgh, but it doesn't hold a candle to AT&T Park, at least not in my opinion. And maybe it's the beautiful weather that you get on such a consistent basis. What you will hear and see today, if you can get the ball in the air, that this ballpark will play a lot smaller during the day than it does at night. Ball carries not only to right field, but it carries to all fields. And today the wind blowing out a little bit towards right and right down the line.
That candlestick, it never was blowing out, huh? It was either blowing in or fogging in. Here's Gregor Blanco who lead it off. Pence and Posey to follow against Homer Bailey. Chris, Homer goes for his 8th win of the season and 96th of his career.
Well, he's had 17 starts now, including today. Right now, after 16 of those, exactly half of those have been quality starts. So I think Homer probably feels like he's a little underperforming, but I think the club feels like he's just a little bit off. I mean, his stuff is there. His breaking pitches are good. But he just seems to have either some bad luck or giving up some runs at the wrong time to cost him some wins. Overall, he's 7-4, but certainly hasn't pitched to the capability that his arm shows and what the expectations of this ball club have been.
Frasier comes in to bail out his catcher, and alertly he knows he's in trouble right away. Watch Frasier come in from the right side. Pena had no idea where it was. As you look up, he peered straight into the sun, and then by the time he tried to locate it, fortunately Frasier came in. He's played that way all year, hasn't he? At third, Chris, when you need him, he's there for you.
He's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman.
There's Pence. Slap foul to the right side, and it's 0-2. Hunter in at 293, 11 homers, 30 knocked in. He's had the most success of anybody in this lineup against Bailey. 5 for 17, 294 and a homer. And for his career, he's always been around 300 against the Reds. Coming in today, 298 is his number against Cincinnati.
Well, he can hit a fastball, and he prefers that fastball up rather than down. And really the way to get him is if Homer can throw that pitch you just saw down on the outer part of the plate, you're going to have a good chance of getting him out a lot. That's the kind of swing you get on a low outside slider.
Bailey bare hands, and they get him by a step. Let's check Bruce Bochy's San Francisco Giants starting lineup, sponsored by Meyer. Blanco leads it off. Remember, Pagan is on the disabled list with a bad back. Belt is on the disabled list. He's at rehab right now and starting his injury rehab in the minor league, so he's not at first. Pence, Posey, Sandoval, the switch hitter, at third. Michael Morrison left. Duvall and Panic are the two rookies, and Brandon Crawford at home has been very solid and always solid with the glove as well. Here's Posey, who did not start last night. He had the biggest at bat of the night for the Giants, though. He came in as a pinch hitter and ripped a double off Aroldis Chapman, his second double off Chapman in the series. In at 293 overall, 9 homers, 30 knocked in, and perennially always an MVP candidate. Just a solid player and a quiet leader on this ball club. You mentioned looking for a fastball. Hunter Pence, boy, was he looking for a fastball against Chapman last night, Chris.
He was, and he can hit one. I mean, he's one of the few guys that can look for a really good fastball and still get the bat around and hit it. A lot of guys think that they can, but Posey just gets the bat in the zone. He's one of those guys you want to know about, though. Those are his numbers against Bailey. However, this month of June, he's got the 4th highest batting average in baseball at 367.
Down the right field line, foul. They're heading towards another sellout today. Last night they hit number 290 consecutive sellouts here at AT&T Park. Over 41,000 in the ballpark last night. And they'll probably have the same thing today. No balls, 2 strikes. Ripped to left, going back, looking up. Schumacher, he got it. Schumacher went back to the wall, leaped up, picked it right off the padding, and a bullet from Posey, but a great catch by Schu. We'll have another look when we return. Still scoreless, heading to the second.
I didn't really think I was going to hit a home run off that cat. I mean, I don't know what happened. I just tried to make contact. And since it's my birthday, I think God had the wind blow the ball over the fence. So I was like, thank you, Lord. The angels in the outfield, the pigeons, whatever them things are, whatever they were, they was helping the ball go over the fence, but it felt good, you know. Happy birthday to myself.
Only Brandon. Happy birthday to myself. Mom and Dad were here. They were elated just as he was. Looked like he'd given the Reds a win. His home run after going 0 for 3 came in the 9th inning, a 2-run shot after Votto worked a walk, gave the Reds a 2-1 lead. And if you weren't with us, Giants came back to tie it at 2. Then the Reds got 5 in the 11th and wound up winning it 7-3. 8th home run against San Francisco, and he has no way to describe it, but the Reds will take every one of those big swings. He's in at 275, 7 homers, 36 knocked in. Bruce on deck, Pena to follow. Popped up right side. Pence has it measured. 1 away.
Now, the one thing you're going to notice about Tim Hudson is that he has got impeccable control. Not a big guy, 6'1", 170, 175 pounds. He's a workout freak. He's been around a long, long time, and he's gone through some injuries. He's had Tommy John surgery, had a broken ankle, and last year that made it at the end of last year became a free agent. But he got stepped on at first base by Eric Young on a play that was played over and over again on all the sports shows, and it was a grotesque-looking injury, but the way he's come back is remarkable. Set a franchise record this year for the most innings without a walk to start the season. He went more than 30 innings before he walked his first batter. So if you're up there at the plate, you're thinking this guy's going to be around the dish. No reason why not to swing at the first pitch, because it's not like you're going to work yourself into a hitter's count.
There's Jay Bruce, 3 for 7 against Hudson. He's the only Red with decent numbers against him. You know, Chris, you talk, and everybody is talking this year about Moneyball again because the A's are playing so well, and those that saw the movie maybe didn't read the book. The Moneyball might have meant something, but Zito, Mulder, Hudson means more than Moneyball.
Those are the 3 words that are probably the most important thing of Moneyball that were left out of the book and the movie.
Exactly.
That they actually dominated with their pitching, and you know, all the other sabermetric stuff aside, you don't win without good pitching, period. And Hudson was a big part of that. Drafted by the Oakland A's 2 times. He finally signed. That was out of Auburn University, where, I mean, he was the player of the year in the SEC the year that he got drafted and signed. 15-2 as a pitcher. He hit .396, hit 18 home runs. I mean, this guy was made to play baseball.
Wide, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And after 17 years of pitching, what's the most impressive thing you can say is he's never had a losing season.
Well, you're right.
For some good teams and some not so good teams. 2-2. And he provides veteran leadership wherever he's been. Did it in Atlanta and is doing it here too. Got him down and in. Bruce is retired for the 72nd time this year. Jay strikes out. 2 away, and here comes Pena, the catcher.
That's that same little slider that Mike Leake likes to throw down and inside to left-handers. And after you establish a fastball that has some run on it, that'll run away from a left-hander, you can throw that same spot and then throw your slider and have the lefty swing right over the top of it.
There's Brian Pena, 245, 3 homers, 14 knocked in. Ground ball down to second. By the way, coming up in the 3rd inning, Jim Maloney, the great Reds pitcher, will join us to talk some baseball. Heading to the bottom of 2. Sandoval leads it off against Bailey. Fox Sports Ohio, and a reminder, now it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #OhioFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Let's check your four defensive alignment for the Reds. The best defense in all of Major League Baseball statistically, yes, but even more importantly, in reality, they make some spectacular plays. Schumacher's play in the last inning was just another example of exactly that in left. Hamilton in center, great speed, Gold Glove caliber. Jay Bruce, always Gold Glove caliber in right. Frasier, Cozart, Phillips, Votto, and Pena behind the plate. And here's Pablo Sandoval. Schumacher, big help to Bailey with that catch that prevented at least a double for Posey in the first. Sandoval in at 266, 9 homers, 34 knocked in, 188 in his career against Bailey. Giants, you know, from an injury standpoint, like the Reds, have been dented in this first half. Pagan, who, like Hamilton for the Reds, is the trigger to their offense, is on the DL with a bad back. Scudero hasn't played all year. He is on rehab now, and they hope to get him back. He's had a bad back. Belt with his last year a broken wrist, this year a broken finger. That's taken some power away, but they really need this guy at the plate, Sandoval, to be what you hope that he can be for their offense to come together.
Well, he has been recently. I mean, since May the 11th, his batting average is up around 340. That's about the third best in the National League. So if they are looking for runs, they can't blame lack of production on Pablo Sandoval, at least at this point in the season. But he needs a little help. It can't only rest on Posey and Sandoval. Other guys have dropped off, and of course with the injuries that you mentioned, they missed the middle of their order.
3 balls, 1 strike. And last night, Sandoval had maybe the most important at bat for the Giants. It came in the 9th inning when they were trailing 2-1. Hunter Pence singled on a 3-2 pitch from Chapman, and then Sandoval, a 10-pitch at bat, worked a walk from Aroldis Chapman to set up first and second, and then Posey followed with a pinch hit double to tie the game at 2. That was a great at bat. Not only did he work at 10 pitches, but he fouled off some pretty tough pitches. Now, those that didn't stay up last night, Chris, if you look at the paper, you see that Aroldis Chapman had a blown save because he didn't get it done in the 9th inning. What a remarkable effort by Chapman, coming into the 9th, 4th consecutive day. He gave the team what they needed, and he got out of a bases loaded situation with nobody out.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse than it turned out for Chapman. You know, it was 4 days in a row for Chapman, and they would not have used him had he not gone to Brian Price and Jeff Pico before the game and say, you know, I feel great. I can give you an inning if you need one tonight. So they rarely, if ever, I think it was only the second time ever that he has been used 4 days in a row. And he'll obviously get today off, maybe even tomorrow off, but you know, it's nice to know that his arm feels that good, that's for sure. I mean, he's throwing 102, so it can't be hurting him that much.
Well, we've seen him in years past, the last couple of years. Here's Michael Morse, where he'd come in after even 2 days' work, and then all of a sudden his velocity was down to in the low 90s. He was still over 100 last night.
Well, his delivery to me looks more effortless now than ever before.
Here's a 1-0. Line drive, Schumacher got it. Now 2 balls hit right on the button, one by Posey, one by Morse, but Schumacher puts leather on both of them. And Chris's favorite moment of the day. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to our Miller Time moment coming up later in this broadcast. Well, the Reds have had 3 perfect days for Chris Welsh. Wins, good pitching performances, and he got to play some pretty good golf. The only bad thing about a day game today, you couldn't play golf this morning.
Good news is we traveled to San Diego.
And where the courses are pretty good down there, too.
Not much of a chance of a rainout.
What's your itinerary for the course?
Up early, play 18, get to the ballpark.
The first 2 are more important than the third, right? This is a breaking ball. Down and away, 1-1 to Duval. The one thing that Reds have been impressed, if you go into the clubhouse, they've been impressed with the at-bats that this young man has had. He's called up from Fresno, where he led the PCL with 23 home runs. He's shown he can hit a fastball, and he's had pretty good presence at the plate. You got to give him more of those, huh?
Yeah, they're beginning to try to figure out what he's made of. And the first thing you do when a rookie comes up to the major leagues is you bust him in with the heater. You find out whether he can hit a big league fastball. He can, no question about that. So now can you adjust to the breaking ball? And that's where they've had a little more success with him by getting him down and away.
1 ball, 2 strikes from Bailey. Did he go? Says the first base umpire, Pat Holberg. DJ Rayburn's your home plate umpire today. Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, is at second, and Dan Bellino's down at third in his umpiring configuration.
Yeah, it's all a matter of adjustment for a hitter or a pitcher for that matter. I mean, those that adjust hang around. Those that don't end up back in Fresno.
Two. Giants, with the injury problems that they've had, Scudero and Belt especially, have wound up calling up 2 young players. Duval here at first, and Joe Panik is the second baseman called up. Not often you see a team in a pennant race with 2 kids manning one side of the infield.
Well, they've got to be happy that they know that they've got this quality in the minor leagues. Not everybody does.
Got him.
Nasty.
Strikeout for Homer. 6 up, 6 down. Reds go back to work. Here we go to the third. Schumacher will lead it off. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by JTM Food Group. Let's create great dishes together. By Toyota. For over 30 Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. And B-Dubs. Kick off your afternoon at B-Dubs. Best seats outside of Brazil this summer. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, and sports. Ball 1 to Skip Schumacher in his career 2 for 17 against Hudson. Just in case, Sandoval in tied at third, right side of the infield back. And some days you win with great pitching. Some days you win with a lot of offense. I think when you walked into the Reds clubhouse after last night's victory, 5 in the 11th inning, if there ever was a team win, that was it. I mean, Alfredo Simon pitched brilliantly, didn't figure in the decision. The bullpen gave it up a little bit and then slammed the door. They had a little ball, they had home runs. Everybody contributed one way or another. 2-1.
Well, they've had a lot of team losses, so it's nice to have a few team wins. That was a really good comeback, though, because they could have easily just rolled over and let the Giants win in extra innings. As good as that bullpen has been for the Giants, it has not been that good against the Reds. There was a 2-run home run by Brandon Phillips in the 9th inning. Those are the first runs the Reds scored all night long.
line but foul. And this is a Giant bullpen that's been, in total for the first half of the year, has been one of the best in the league. They're third in the league coming in earned run average. They've been solid. The Reds, for instance, are 14th in the league. 3-2. Ripped right back through the middle of the infield, and a base hit for Schumacher. Well, the Reds have a leadoff hitter on here in the third, and here's Cozart.
You know, if you want to clone a swing of a utility type player, Schumacher's the guy that you want. I mean, he just doesn't really try to do too much. Occasionally he's going to get a pitch in his power zone. He's going to yank it out of the ballpark to right field. But for the most part, he's keeping the ball in the zone, fouling off some tough pitches, and just hanging right in there. Guy's gritty. I mean, wow, he was a good pickup.
He's done it on the field, and he's added some fiber to the clubhouse too. Here's Cozart. Speaking of a team game last night, involved in 11 different ground balls last night at shortstop. And afterwards, you know, once you're a shortstop, you go through that, and it's like you're in heaven. To have a game like that where you're involved every inning in one or two plays. Short lead for Schumacher. Cozart in at 233. In his career, 1 for 5 against Hudson. When you add up this series for Cozart, in game number 1 of the series, he doubled in the first run for the Reds. Game number 2, he singled in the first run. And then in the 11th, what did he do, Chris? This was a delivery big time for Cincinnati in that 5-run 11th.
Got to put it out of reach. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to just take the wind completely out of their sails, and when you drop a 5 spot on them, that's what happens in extra innings.
That base hit made it 4-2, broke the 2-2 tie. So he's had 3 go-ahead hits in the first 3 games of this series. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's what Hudson does so well. He gets ahead of you. All the pitches he throws have good movement. Most of that movement is straight down. That's why he gets as many ground balls as he does. He's among the league leader in number of ground ball outs. So he's a guy that really uses the defense a lot.
He's usually around 60%.
He's pretty close to that this year. He's had the best control of his entire career this year. He's only walked 16 batters in 100 innings. So if you're going to beat him, he's going to make you swing the bats a little bit. Now, that said, he's not on much of a roll. Last 2 games, he's 0-2, earned run average up over 9.5. There's the ground ball word that we were talking about, the most ground balls in the league. Mike Leake is on that list. But I mean, resist trying to judge Hudson from just a small sample size of like the last couple of games. Because as long as he feels healthy, you got a chance to be shut out. And they say that he's healthy. He just was a little bit off the last couple of ball games, and that's why they, of course, didn't score him a whole lot of run support. Those are the numbers that we're talking about. First 10, 5-2, 190 earned. Lately, not so good. They made him a 2-year deal, and we're just happy as could be that he would sign and come over here and play with the Giants.
1 ball, 2 strikes still to Cozart. Hopped up behind home plate. Posey giving chase. He'll run out of room. And those 2 games you talk about, his ERA went from a low of 188 all the way up to 262.
Kind of interesting, really, because at the end of last year, remember, as I mentioned, it was in July when he had that ankle injury, when he was run over at first base accidentally by Eric Young Jr. Grotesque injury. So he's a free agent at the end of the year from the Braves. And the Giants were happy to get him. The Giants were also on Bronson Arroyo. Arroyo evidently had made it known that he wanted a 3-year deal. Giants were not willing to do that. So they ended up with Tim Hudson instead.
And equally important, the Braves lost him.
Yeah.
Talk about, and it's, you know, you talk about Walt Jocketty wanting to bring in Skip Schumacher to helped this club not just on the field but in the clubhouse too. That's what Hudson brings with you too. He's a leader on your pitching staff. He's great for young pitchers.
Well, he's a guy that has learned the hard way. I mean, there's Brian Sabian, the general manager, but when Hudson was in high school, even though he had a really good run of it in high school, he was small and nobody wanted him. Never got a college offer, big time college, never got a pro offer. So he went to junior college. And then out of junior college, when he became an All-American JUCO player, that's when Auburn decided, hey, we can take this kid. And this guy ended up all SEC Player of the Year. And he's gone on from there today, making start number 443 in the major leagues.
And other than former Reds pitcher Scott Sullivan, maybe the biggest Auburn fan in America. And how about Cozart hanging in? Fouls another off.
Well, you know, it's been a process for Zach Cozart, and you know, it seemed that he got off to such a horrible start. Statistically, he was bad. His batting average was under 100 for a long time. Then it was under 200 for a long time. Little by little, it's inching up. 233 right now as he stands in the batter's box. But this is the kind of an at-bat that can give you some confidence.
2-2, and just in case this running Reds team is thinking about putting the runner in motion now that the count is even, Hudson will pinch him a little closer to the bag. The Reds, even though they've been burned in this series, have continued to run. 71 stolen bases on the year. They trail only the Dodgers with 81 in the league. Compare that to the Giants, who've stolen only 33. And it's not just stolen bases. The Reds and the Brian Price regime are just making things happen more on the base pass. Sometimes they've been burned by it, but they're not taking the foot off the pedal. 2-2. Not going. Wow. Now time for IGS bringing the energy. Tim Hudson, Chris, you mentioned 17 years. Here's where he ranks all time in that 17-year period. Pretty good numbers.
Among active pitchers, look at this. First in wins, percentage, and shutouts. Fifth in complete games. He's second in innings pitched and strikeouts. And I think if you added up all the pitches that he has thrown, he's probably right among the top 2 or 3 in the number of pitches thrown in the major leagues.
Bailey gets the bunt down. Homer will take the sacrifice, so there's a runner in scoring position for the Reds. Schumacher checking the outfield behind him. We're back to the top of the order. Billy Hamilton. Just as you talk about Panic and Duvall making adjustments and the league making adjustments to them, Billy Hamilton went through that same process in the month of April, and boy, has he turned the corner of late. Against the Giants this year, 444 coming into today. And as we talked about in this series, 7 for 14. And it's the same byline in every clubhouse you go into, every opposing clubhouse. They've been more and more impressed with this young man at the plate, and even more so in a big outfield like this. Boy, if Billy Hamilton played here, man, imagine what he'd
be worn out.
Whoa. Right center field for your right fielder and your center fielder, the toughest combo in all of baseball. A lot of space where you need speed. One ball to Billy.
You know, the thing about Billy Hamilton that kind of separates him from a lot of other rookies, that there's just no one way to pitch him. You know, a lot of times, let's take Adam Duvall. Right now, they figured out he can hit an inside fastball. He hasn't figured out the low outside slider. But Billy Hamilton, if you've seen all of his hits here, even in this series, he's gotten them on breaking balls, he's gotten them on high fastballs, because he bloops a lot of these in, and infield hits are hits. That's why you can't pitch him just one way. It's a different cat entirely than most rookies that you call up. Because you think you've got him figured out, then he hits one off the end of the bat to your third baseman. Your third baseman double pumps, and Hamilton's down the right field line somewhere, safe at first.
2 balls, 1 strike. Schumacher off second. Two ground ball outs from Hamilton and Frasier in the first inning. Frasier sitting on deck, hoping to get a crack at Hudson. Towards the alley, sinking. Will Pence get there? He won't. That'll get a run in. Cruising into second is Hamilton, and Billy picks up his 28th run batted into the season. Now 8 for 16 in this series, and he continues to help fuel the Reds offense. He was 3 for 6 yesterday, 3 for 5 the day before, and 1 for 3 in the first game of the series.
You want to win a big game against a champion pitcher like Tim Hudson, you have to come up with a 2-out RBI. And this ball just splits the seam between right and center. And man, that is sweet hitting.
The Reds with runners in scoring position, the best in the league during June, over 300. And here's Frasier. Bounced out first time up. Now, Chris, you remember, I think one of the most enjoyable seasons we've had together in our career with the Reds was 1999, when nobody gave the Reds much of a chance. And it was a year when, you know, the likes of Sean Casey and Aaron Boone, the younger players, helped ignite the Barry Larkins and the Greg Vaughns, and things started to come together. And it's been young players like Frasier and like Hamilton that have helped to ignite the Reds so far in this season. Hit hard by Frasier, but right back at Hudson. But the Reds get a run thanks to a Hamilton RBI, lead it 1-0. Here comes Crawford when we return.
Here at AT&T Park. I'm Jim Day, and Todd Frasier amongst the league leaders in home runs, and his name has been bantered around to be one of the National League participants in the Home Run Derby. Troy Tulowitzki is the captain. He's already chosen Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton has accepted. Now, I asked Todd Frasier, I said, you know, a lot of guys will avoid the Home Run Derby. They don't want to mess up their swing, or they want the off days. I said, would you like to participate in the Home Run Derby? And he didn't bat an eye. He said, absolutely. In fact, it's one of my childhood dreams to participate in it. Then I went a step further. I said, if you're not chosen for the team, would you still go participate in the Home Run Derby? He said, absolutely. Tell Troy Tulowitzki I'm in.
That's great, JD. All right, here's the question. What's your childhood dream? Whether it be baseball, what?
Are you talking to me, George?
We're talking to you.
My dream would be to cover the World Series with the Red Legs dancing at the end.
Amen. That's a good one.
Spraying champagne on each other.
Amen. That's a good one, buddy. Great job this series. Anchored to the Reds dugout down the first base line. JD as usual on top of things. Fly ball to left. Panic retired by Schumacher. So 2 fly ball outs. And Chris, this is one ballpark where if you're a smart pitcher, you can use the expanses of the outfield.
Well, you can, but as I said early on, that it's a lot easier to do that at nighttime than it is during the day. Heavy marine layer at night, it's cool. Ball doesn't carry as far. The daytime, though, a little different. Ball will carry a lot if you hit it hard. Buster Posey's ball was a line shot right up against the left field wall before Schumacher made that very nice catch. So this is it's a ballpark that really plays like 2 different parks depending on whether you're here during the day or at night. In fact, these two teams, these teams during the day, both of them seem to excel. I like those day games. The Reds are 19-10 wins and losses on daytime games, and the Giants are 20-9.
No balls, 2 strikes to Hudson. Popped up right side in the seats.
So you ask yourself, all right, well, most day games are played on Sundays. If you know what these teams have done during the day, what have they done on Sundays? So Josh Hall, our esteemed producer, looked it up, and how about this? The Reds are 9-3 on Sundays. The Giants are 10-2. So a battle of 2 behemoths who like to play on Sunday.
And Bailey liking the pitch on this Sunday. 9 up, 9 down for Homer. We're heading to the 4th. Joey Votto leads it off. The Reds on a Hamilton RBI lead at 1-0.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Right now, by the way, on FoxSportsOhio.com, tragedy struck last night at the Columbus Crew game. We'll have more on that after winning last night's Quaker State 400 at Kentucky Speedway. Brad Keselowski had a little bit of a mishap during the celebration, and Chad Johnson had a couple of catches in his CFL regular season debut yesterday. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Brought to you by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Drive safe, spend less. Mexico eliminated by the Netherlands in World Cup soccer today. United States plays Tuesday against Belgium. It's been great wherever we've been in the last week or so to see the interest and the excitement surrounding the World Cup. And here in the United States, the USA still alive. There's Joey. Votto last night had an 0 for 3 night going. A couple of fly balls and a strikeout, but boy, he chimed in. In the ninth, his leadoff walk on a 3-2 pitch got the Reds started. Then Phillips homered. And in the 11th, his double kept the rally alive as the Reds scored 5 and took a 7-2 lead. Pete Rose always said it, huh? You know, go 0 for 4, but your next at bat, you're still trying to go 1 for 5, 2 for 6, and you can make a bad night a good night. And he sure did last night.
Never saw the guy giving a bat away.
Never. Or a pitch.
I think, but Joey, in that respect, Joey Votto is similar to Rose. He doesn't like to give at bats away. I don't think he's obviously not yet in the same category. Choking up here, trying to make contact.
Down the left field line, Morse is there, got it, and there's one away. Chris, you and I haven't had a chance to talk about it on the air, but I know one of our favorite people in the game of baseball left us this month, and that's Tony Gwynn. And you and I spent a lot of time with him over the years. I mean, talk about hand-eye coordination. You know, in our career, you know, Pete Rose, Rod Carew, but Tony Gwynn was just spectacular as a player and spectacular as a person too.
Yeah, you're right. I think as a person, George, you hit it on the head. Always there for his teammates. I played with Tony. I was there when he was brought up in the minor league. I've known him for a long time. Got to know him better as a Padres broadcaster. Of course, he was around for a long time. Would come through Cincinnati. Always friendly to the fans. Just good guy all the way around. And I just think it was just so wasted that he left us so early, so young. What, 54 years old? All of his cancer linked to smokeless tobacco, and tough thing to quit sometimes.
Phillips pops it up, panic there, looking up in the sun. He got it. You know, and you and I were there that day in San Diego when Joe Garagiola came by with Bill Tuttle. I mean, I get chills when I think of that day. And Joe has put his finger in his chest and said, "You got to stop using this stuff."
I thought at the time that, you know, Joe was being a little bit obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said, who's this old guy? I mean, I knew who Joe Garagiola was. I revered him, you know, from the game of the week way back in the day. And I'm like, man, he really coming on strong there to Tony Gwynn. But as I walked away, I realized, you know, what he was saying to Tony Gwynn is the absolute truth. And I really hope that Gwynn can quit. And it wasn't like Tony was trying to defend the use of smokeless tobacco at that time. He just said, Joe, it's hard to quit. I'm trying to do the best I can, but you know, it's addicting.
Here's Jay, struck out first time up.
So if you're thinking about starting, don't. If you're using it now, if you're using it now and you think you're going to be a minor league baseball player, you're going to have to quit anyway. So you might as well go ahead and get rid of it. I know they do not allow it in high school. They do not allow it in college. And they do not allow it in the minor leagues.
That's ripped, but into the shift, and Crawford will take care of it. By the way, congratulations to Joe Garagiola Sr., who will, of course, get the Buck O'Neill Award in Cooperstown later this summer. Reds still lead at 1-0. Back after this. Days are family days at Great American Ballpark, and boy, what a weekend we've got for you next week. Sunday, July the 6th, take advantage of the Reach Magazine family deal. See your Redlegs in action. When one member of the family purchases a full price ticket, they'll get the option to purchase 3 additional tickets at half price. Plus, every Sunday home game features a kids giveaway. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/family. Hope you join us for the holiday weekend. $12 tickets, the big fireworks display on Friday night. Celebrate the holiday with us next weekend and celebrate the battle in the Central Division 2 as the Brewers come to town. Milwaukee, and the Reds keep winning and the Brewers keep winning. Right now, Colorado leads Milwaukee. I don't know. They were going into the 9th. I don't know if it's finished yet, but if the Rockies win, the Rockies just haven't been able to beat the Brewers this year. But the Reds hope to make up some ground this week, and then of course next weekend when the Brew Crew come to town. Here's Gregor Blanco, flied out first time up. We were together in spring training, Chris. You hit the nail on the head. I asked you which team, when I got out there, you had already been out there for like 3 weeks. I said, which team has impressed you the most? Which team has improved the most? And you said the Brewers.
You know, nobody believed me when I said that. And I just think that their pitching has improved. They still need some bullpen help. I'm not completely convinced about the whole team, but they have learned how to win. And they continue to hold a lead. I mean, they put the pressure on the teams behind them by winning. And when you're on the West Coast and they play early in the day and they've already posted a win on the board, it gets in your head a little bit. Now, they were losing early today. But as the Reds came into this ball game, they were 7.5 behind the Brewers, just like they were the day before and the day before that.
Last 10 games, they're 8-2, and the Reds are 7-3. So they both have been winning. That's a walk to Bernard, leadoff hitter on in the 4th. Don't forget, you can get ready for Reds action 30 minutes before the start of every game with Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing on your exclusive home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. Great to have you with us, and some of these late night games have kept our guys in the studio back home up late. Jeff Pecoro, Brian Gieseslaw, and the crew will be there to keep you up to date today. And then, of course, after today, the Reds head to San Diego for 2 more night games. Reds pregame at 9:30 on Monday, 9:30 on Tuesday, and then 3 o'clock on Wednesday. Matt Latos against Jesse Hahn Monday, Mike Leake against Ian Kennedy Tuesday, Johnny Cueto against Tyson Ross on Wednesday. Off day Thursday, and then the Brewers come to town. A little bigger lead for Blanco. He has stolen 8 of 10. You can't forget about him down there. Pence swing and a miss, 1-1. Pence bounced back to Bailey first time up.
Yeah, getting back to that Brewer-Rocky game, it looks like finally the Rockies are going to take care of them. So if the Reds can hold on, they've only got a 1-0 lead here, but they could pick up a game on the Milwaukee Brewers, and we'll let you know what the Dodgers and Cardinals are doing this afternoon.
Things can change so rapidly in this game, and the Giants are a perfect example. When the Giants came to Cincinnati earlier this month, they were on a roll. And at one point, they were 42-21. Broken bat, they'll have to go to first, and they'll get the out. So the runner advances to second. But since June the 9th, the Giants are 4-14. Here at home, they've struggled, losing 11 of their last 13. And Bruce Bochy searching for the magic and the karma that can get them back where they were a month ago.
Well, it's a perfect storm of losses where your team is only averaging about 3 runs a game, and your pitching staff has given up 5 runs or more 11 times in a span of 18 games. So I mean, you're going to give up 5 runs, you're only scoring 3. Even I can figure that math out.
And you didn't need a computer to do it. By the way, I like your new phone.
Thank you. The same as the old one, it just costs more.
Beth is bringing you into the real world, huh? No balls, 1 strike. Posey, first time up, hit a rocket towards the left field wall that Schumacher got back to the base of the wall and hauled it in with a leapy grab. Now a runner in scoring position for Posey. One away here in the fourth. Phillips trying to keep Blanco tight. Down the right field line, curving, it'll go foul.
Man, is that some kind of power? That ball didn't even look like he hit that far, and it almost went out of here, but a foul ball. The good news is you're ahead 0-2. Now, last time Homer Bailey had him up, no balls and 2 strikes. He tried to throw a high fastball by him, and he got it in the zone. Posey hit it on a line, and that was that really great catch to end the first inning that Skip Schumacher made. Posey probably thinking along with him, saying, you know, you're not going to give me a fastball here. I'm looking slider or splitter.
And you would think down and away, right? Setting up inside. There goes the runner. They get him. They tried to pick his pocket, and Blanco is nailed.
Toot blind.
Well, that's the way it's gone for the Giants. A month ago, everything they tried worked. Here, Blanco tries to pick the pocket of Bailey. They alert Bailey, and finally he gets the ball over to Frasier.
Where Bailey did the right thing. You know, you just step off, throw over, stay under control, don't panic. Thrown out on the bases like an incomplete. And there's strike 3. Momentum.
What a switch in the span of one pitch. The base runner erased. Reds still lead at 1-0. Brian Pena due up, and we return. Baseball All-Star Game as the best of the National League take on the American League's elite. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July the 15th on Fox. As it appears right now, no Red will be voted in. Every Red that's close is not close enough to win the fan vote. You would figure, Chris, among those who would be considered, we mentioned Todd Frasier, and I think his opportunity gets even better knowing that David Wright has had shoulder difficulties. They're not putting him on the DL, but he's going to have to sit for most of this week probably. So, and Wright will win the vote, so that may move him up a notch.
Well, Frasier will probably win the player vote.
Yep.
I think that he's pretty well recognized around the league as one of now the elite third basemen out there.
If Arenado hadn't been hurt, it would be probably a close vote.
Yeah, and there's a number of other Reds that you think, you know, we're myopic when it comes to that because we want our guys to be representing and so on. But, you know, there have been a number of players on this team that you would think have had all-star caliber seasons.
1-1 strike to Pena. Panic circles it. Got it. One away.
So
Pena 0 for 2, 2 ground balls to second.
But that said, I mean, the rest of baseball would say to you, well, if you had 3 or 4 or 5 guys on this team worthy of all-star consideration, why are you 7.5 games out of first place?
Well, Johnny Cueto almost assuredly will be named. The question is, how does the rotation go for the Reds? If he winds up pitching on Sunday before the All-Star game, he would not pitch, but he still would be named, and that's still a possibility. You really don't know what's going to happen in the next week and a half, but you would figure Cueto, Frasier, Mesoraco, and Chapman would be at the top of the list. Mesoraco's road is a much more difficult. Jonathan Lucroy's had a brilliant first half. And
Yadier Molina's
going to get in.
Lucroy is in.
Yep. No balls, 2 strikes to Schumacher, who singled to start the Reds' rally in the third. Dribbled down to short. Crawford smothers it. 2 away.
Boy, he really makes it look easy, Hudson does. When he's got that sinker going, it's just so hard to get the ball into the air.
As you continue to tweet your photos using the hashtag #OhioFanPhoto, here's today's fan photo of the game, brought to you by AT&T. Not you at Half Moon Bay. No, Dustin. Thanks, Dustin. A beauty. I'm sure we're going to get some great ones next weekend from the ballpark, Great American Ballpark, and everybody comes out for 4th of July. Cozart struck out first time up. I guess if you are, I don't know, if it would be my druthers, I would hope that Johnny Cueto would pitch on Sunday, get into the All-Star game and not have to pitch in the All-Star game, to give him a little time off, to give him a break. And I know that Brian Price would love to give him an extra day or 2 here in the second half, but you look at the Reds schedule, there aren't as many off days for the Reds in the second half as they've had in the first half. And you want him to be at his best come August and September.
You might say the same thing about Chapman. I
Yep.
mean, what if he gets used a couple of days right prior to the All-Star game? You get Monday off, of course, come back and play Tuesday. I really think that Cueto and his effort level this year is not as hard on him as it's been in years past. He's throwing more breaking balls. He's been more efficient with his pitches. He just doesn't seem like he's grunting and sweating as much as he used to. And I think he's the kind of guy that is not going to be injured as easily as he has in the past because of that. I think that they've really taught, he's made the next step on how to pitch with the great stuff that he has.
Kind of like the guy in the mound right here.
Very much like him.
2-2.
I mean, Hudson now topping out about 90 miles an hour. Cueto topping out at 95 or 96. So, there was a time that Hudson threw harder. '20-game winner back in 2000. And he won 20 games with an earned run average over 4. So they got him some runs there in Oakland that year.
Strikes out Cozart for the second time. 3 strikeouts for Hudson. Reds still lead at 1-0. Sandoval to the plate when we return. Sunday, July the 5th. Bring the whole family to the ballpark. See your Reds take on the Brewers at half price thanks to Reach Magazine Family Day. Plus, first 8,000 kids aged 14 and younger receive a Red survival bracelet thanks to Meyer. You got to see it live Sunday, July 5th. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. Back at AT&T Park, a resplendent day for baseball, and so far the Reds have gotten an RBI from Billy Hamilton and lead it 1-0. Homer Bailey back to work. Sandoval, the switch hitter, leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Morse and Duval will follow. The Reds a run, 2 hits, and no errors for the Giants. Zip, zip, zip. The only base runner the Giants have had, a Blanco walk in the 4th. He advanced to second on a ground ball out and then was out trying to steal third. Sandoval bounced to second first time up. Against Bailey in his career now 3 for 17 under 200. And on the hands, foul back and out of play.
Well, what a good pitch right there. If you can control that pitch, and it's a very difficult spot for a right-hander to throw, is inside to a left-hander. But I mean, if you can start that pitch and get it right in under his elbows, there's a very short list of hitters that can get the bat head on it.
Two and two. Rockies put 2 more on the board and they now lead Milwaukee 10-4 in the 8th inning in Milwaukee. Got him. Sandoval says that had to be high, but the home plate umpire DJ Rayburn says and they dispose of Sandoval at strikeout number 4 for Bailey.
Now the halfway point between the waistline and the shoulders, and maybe a little help on the frame job by Brian Pena. He brought it right down there, and DJ Rayburn, who's normally more of a hitter's umpire than he is a pitcher's umpire, gives Bailey the call there.
Here's Morse. The 2 hardest hit balls of the day, a line drive by Posey to the wall and left, and a Morse line drive. This one broken bat behind second. Phillips got it. 2 away. Here's Duval.
Boy, you talk about getting in the kitchen. It's easier for Homer to get into the hands on a right-handed hitter because that ball naturally runs that way. Case of toothpicks for sale.
Another lamp. High fly ball to left. Schumacher peering up into the high sky of this day will squeeze it. A strikeout, 2 fly ball outs. Homer's still dealing, and he's due up when we return. We'll visit with Jim Maloney when we come back. living, of course, as a member of the Reds. Won over 130 games from 1960 to 1970. One of the Reds' best pitchers. A couple of no-hitters. Brilliant from 63 to 68, where he had double-figure wins each year. One of the best power pitchers in the history of the game. I feel this is what I should be doing at Cooperstown, and I should be introducing you. If it hadn't been for the Achilles, we would be introducing you at Cooperstown.
Well, that's
Jim Maloney.
Thank you, George. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys up here in the booth, and yeah, you never know. Injuries happen in baseball, and I had a very serious one with the Achilles tendon, and it, you know, I was 30 years old, and who knows what would happen. But what it is what it is.
It's always great to see you. Great to have you and Lynn stop by today, and I know the legacy of Fresno baseball continues. Well, I was with Mark Gardner today downstairs, and he said, I hear Big Jim's coming to town. I said, yeah, another one of the Fresno crew, huh? Yeah,
Mark, he's from Fresno, and he does a lot of fundraising for some fundraising events there in the wintertime. He's a wonderful man. He's been with the Giants for forever.
Chris, you had some fun with him at between fantasy camp and spring training, don't you?
Well, he's one of the best ever in fantasy camp. How are things in Fresno? Well, what are you doing nowadays with your time?
We're watching tomatoes grow.
What now? Bailey strikes out for the first out of the sixth inning. What kind of tomatoes you grow? Jet Stars, beefsteak,
cherry tomatoes,
little cherries.
Right.
Okay.
Salad tomatoes.
Salad every night. You look like you're in good shape. Lynn's treating you well.
She does. She always takes good care of me.
You got to be pretty happy. I know that in the last few years talking to you, you've built up a great relationship with Homer Bailey. 2 no-hitters for Homer, and you've also built up a relationship with Tim Lincecum. He pitches his second no-hitter here this week.
Yeah, I saw the game. We get all the Giant games there in Fresno, and you know, he was just on. He throws about 4 different pitches, and he wasn't overpowering, but they took some awful swings at him, and you know, that's what it takes. You got to have a little luck, and got to hit the ball right at him sometimes, and then strike out a few guys.
You did a few of those.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, you know. A lot of water went over the dam since I was out there.
You know what, though, Jim? I mean, well-pitched games back in the 50s or 60s would still be well-pitched games today. I mean, if you look back on your best games, you were getting a breaking ball over, you were hitting your spots with your fastball. When you were missing, you weren't missing by too much. You're getting guys to swing outside the zone and so on. I mean, that's the one, you know, thing that the similarity that goes through the ages. I mean, you can pitch, you can pitch.
That's exactly right. You get people out, it doesn't make any difference what you're throwing up there. If you get guys out, they'll put you out there.
What do you think of this pitch that has become so trendy now? The cutter. The cut fastball. Did you ever throw a cutter?
No.
I mean, I know that your fastball. Which way did it run?
It jumped. If I was throwing real hard, it would above the belt. It would jump up and a little bit to the right. You know, so I threw across the seam, so I had that. Then later on in the ball game, when I got a little tired, it would sink real good on me. You know, so. But you're right. I mean, you just can't get by on one pitch, and I had a good curve, and when I got my curve over, I changed off my curve. My regular changeup was not good. I slowed my arm action down, and I really didn't know what a circle change was. We tried different stuff in those days. But
did you ever try a splitter?
No, that just came once I got out of there. I would have loved to have with a splitter, because I think that would have been a real good pitch for me.
Billy Hamilton swinging, and at first the home plate umpire DJ Rayburn saying that he struck out. Hamilton saying it hit the dirt, I fouled it off, and that was reaffirmed by the third base umpire Dan Bellino. Another look, yep, in the dirt. And you know, we talk strikeout pitching, but I know, and Bruce Bochy is going to come out to quibble about this, but while Billy's at the plate, I know you watch the Reds too. Is this young man exciting or what?
He's a giant pest, let me tell you. That guy is going to cause a lot of problems once he gets on that first base, and his hitting is improved. He's improved tremendously, and what an asset for the Reds, because once he gets on first base, there's 8-9 other guys out there that are just concerned watching him. You know, it changes the whole ball game. You know, really it does, because he's got that great speed.
2-2 to Hamilton. That's a bouncer down to second. What happened when Maury Wills would get on with you?
Well, that's the same deal. I mean, that's what Billy Hamilton reminds me of, is Maury Wills when I pitched. you had to keep him off the base. But he was a 300 hitter. He hit the ball down on the ground, and he was fast, full speed within about 4 steps. And once he got on first base, he's going to go to second. Then you had to watch him real close. He's going to go to third, and then fly ball, bring him in. That's the way the Dodgers played in those days. They sort of like going to a silent movie, you know, but all of a sudden they put the hurt on you.
We're visiting with Reds Hall of Fame great Jim Maloney. Always great to have him with us. Here's Frasier, muscles this one in the left for a base hit. He's come a long way, hasn't he?
Todd Frasier has had an unbelievable season so far, and I'm really happy for him because he's a wonderful young man and a new father. And so we, you know, my wife Lynn, she keeps track of all those babies and everything that these guys have, and it's wonderful. It sort of reminds me of mine, you know, when my kids were young and growing up in baseball.
Hey, your son was here earlier in the series. We visited with him. And he's walking through the stands, and he's wearing a Maloney jersey, and everybody's saying, "Hey, there's Jim Maloney." And it wasn't Maloney. He had a great time. Great to see him.
Yeah, well, he's. I know you spent some time with him, and he really enjoyed that, George. He really did.
Base hit for Frasier. Here's Votto. That will get off the glove of Panic. He bounces up and will get the out at first. So Votto bounces out. The Reds get their base hit, but nothing to show for it. 3 hits so far for the Reds. A Hamilton RBI gives Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. Back with more after this. Baseball's oldest franchise has so many great players and so many great records. This is a list that's pretty special, Jim Maloney. 2 career no-hitters. Johnny Vandermeer, of course. Homer Bailey accomplished what you accomplished. Yours, August of '65, April of '69. And it really should be 3. Because also in '65 you had another, you know, you can quibble over this. Harvey Haddock's no-hitter was a race too, but to me that will always be a no-hitter.
Yeah, that's for a long time they counted me with 3 no-hitters, but actually a guy hit a home run off me for the Mets, Johnny Lewis, in the 11th inning, and I lost the game 1-0.
Big swing from Crawford, sliced into left. Cozart will get there and haul it in. Leo Cardenas was brilliant at short. Cozart has been outstanding for the Reds.
Yeah, he's. I'm glad they stay with him because he's a real pro. He's going to battle out there, and even if he has a little trouble at home plate, it's not going to affect his defense. He's going to be out there, and now he's started to hit. And you know, over a period of 162 games, that's a long season, and people can get down on teams and stuff, but the Reds are hitting on all 8 cylinders right now.
One away. Here's Panic, the young rookie, flied out first time up.
You know, Jim, even though they're hitting on all cylinders right now, it's still tough to win a 4-game series, isn't it? I mean, what goes into trying to win that 4th game of a 4-game series,
especially on the road? You know, and you know, their catch. The Giants right now are like in a funk. You know, they're in a funk. So that's the time you want to play them, when they're in a funk. They think that, you know, the mentality is that they're just gonna wait around, see how they can get beat. You know, and that's what happens. And the Reds now they can hardly wait to get to the ballpark because they know they're going to, you know, show up and do well.
When did you feel like that with your ball club?
You mean feel good or what? Yeah, the years that I played, I had wonderful teammates, and every time I got out there was a thrill to go out there, you know, pitch at that level, compete, and have some success.
One of the greatest joys for Chris and myself and all of us has been, you know, since Bob Castellini and the Williams brothers took over, bringing all you guys back, and just to watch all of you get together, whether we're, you know, having a beverage together or whether you're sitting in around a table together, you enjoy each other, don't you?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you one thing, that when I got out of baseball in 71, 72, I never heard of anything about the Reds. They never invited myself or my wife anywhere, and not till Bob Castellini and Williams, and they got involved with the club, and then they started bringing the alumni back. And Lynn and I are blessed that we get to go to some wonderful functions with the Reds. That's really nice.
Now you go to the wonderful functions. Some of them are casual. But every once in a while they make you put on a tie too, don't they?
No, not out there in Arizona. There's no tie yet, but you might have a sport coat. But you know, just to go out there and see Mr. Castellini's house, and he has a nice party out there for you know, for all the people and the owners and what have you during owner week. It's an honor to see you know, see that. You know, it's really wonderful of that family.
Hudson skies it to shortstop, battling the sun is Cozart. He's got it, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. Chris, Bailey's at his best right now, huh?
They've seen this before in San Francisco.
Yeah, he looks like he's just getting warmed up. They're having some bad swings.
July 4th through the 6th. Next weekend at Great American Ballpark for only $12. That's right, Saturday, July 5th. First 20,000 fans receive a Joey Votto t-shirt thanks to John Morrell. Purchase your tickets today. Call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. I know you've spent time with Homer Bailey. What has impressed you the most about his growth?
Well, I think that, you know, I talked to him one of the first years I was in spring training. Dusty wanted me to talk to him, and that's been a long time ago, and he was struggling, and he you know, he figured that he had the stuff to get by, and it's just been a process. I sort of went through the same thing. You know, you have to learn how to pitch and to get hitters out, and it doesn't make any difference how hard you throw, but and what kind of stuff you have. If you don't make the quality pitches, you're going to get hit a little bit. So he's grown. He's definitely grown. He's he looks like he feels real comfortable out there on the mound, and you know, anybody stepping in there is going to have a, you know, he's got electric stuff, really does.
Ooh. There's Joey Votto, Phillips and Bruce to follow. Rather, here's Phillips after Votto made the final out of the last inning. Phillips will lead it off. Bruce and Pena will follow. Brandon flied out, popped out, celebrated his birthday with his 8th home run of the year against the Giants last night. And boy, did he celebrate. Inside for a ball, and our steel power tool performer is Brandon. 8 career homers at AT&T Park, second most of any road park. Pittsburgh is the other at 9, and you know, you only come here, Chris, about usually 3 times. This year 4 times a year. That's big time production. 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes to Phillips. Pretty enjoyable when you get these guys together for fantasy camp, huh, Chris?
Well, you know, Jim, they're going to have the fantasy camp. They're going to move it up a week or 2 this year.
Yeah, right. I understand that from
got the Super Bowl there.
Super Bowl
in
there,
Phoenix.
and we were clashing dates. So I think it's the 17th, that week of the 17th. Or
yeah, I understand that the first day they had it eligible to sign up. So I saw Ralph Dusing in Chicago, and he said that there were 110 people to sign up the first day.
Isn't that amazing?
And they will expand it to 144 fantasy campers this year. I presume you'll be there again.
I'll be there. You know, never know from one day to next with me, but hopefully I'll be there. We'll be there. But you know,
somebody will tend the tomatoes for you.
Yeah, that's right. You know, those campers, they have their own Facebook and all that stuff together. There's 50, 60 of those guys, and you know, they make good friendships in baseball, just like big league ball players do. You know, teammates and stuff.
Crawford off balance throw will get Phillips, 1 away here in the 7th. You know, you talk about being a starting pitcher, and Chris says it very often. The 2 toughest things are, you know, closing out a game in the 9th inning if you're a starter, or closing out a game if you're a closer. There's a different mentality when you get there, especially like you going with 3 no-hitters, or Homer who's had 2 no-hitters. You get to that 9th inning, it takes something different, doesn't it?
Well, for me, I knew exactly where I was on every pitch. When I first started every game, I had goals that I wanted to pitch a no-hitter every time I went out there. And if I got through the first 3 hitters, I was going to pitch a perfect game, you know, 27 up, 27 down. Somebody got a hit off me, then I was going to be a 1-hit shutout. And that's how I stayed in with every pitch, because sometimes you get a big lead and it's hard to mentally stay on focus, because it doesn't take too much to run into some problems, you know, if you're not really focused out there. You have to, and then, you know, you're starting every 5th day, so it's a long time between starts if you lose a couple in a row, you know.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jay Bruce. Struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. That's a bouncer into the shift. Panic has it, and Bruce is retired.
Jim, when was the first time you ever heard the term pitch counts?
We had pitch count, and I think what it really was in my day was if you pitched 9 innings, they gave you the sheet afterwards where how guys hit balls off you and this and that. And 145 pitches, 140 pitches. We didn't think anything about it. You know, we were in shape to complete the game. I mean, that's how we worked at it, you know, and I try to go as long as you can. See, today's guys, they go 6 innings, and it's like Kane here the other night. I don't know why, you know, he was winning the game, you know, 1-0, and they take him out. And it's hard to get 2 or 3 other guys to come in. It's going to shut him down for the rest of the game. Consequently, get off the hook, no decision. You know, so
with that in mind, there seems to be more injuries, Tommy John type surgery injuries than ever before. Any thoughts on maybe why pitchers are hurting themselves?
I have no clue, really. I don't know what. I mean, my elbow when I pitched, my elbow forearm got a little sore. I never had any problems with my elbow. It was my shoulder, and you know, around that rotator cuff, and then I'd get a cortisone shot, a couple times a year, and it's like getting an oil change, you know. Go get them, boys. Worked for me.
I remember a few years ago you telling the story of your 65 no-hitter. I think you said you threw 187 pitches in that
right.
game. Was it 187?
187. You got a good memory, George. But,
you tell good stories.
Well, it was 187 pitches, and I hit a couple of guys. I walked 10 or 11, which is a record for no-hitter, and struck out, I think, 12 or 13. So it was a lot of pitches.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Pena. High in the air. Will Pence have time to get there? Right center field. It's over his head. Pena round first, going to second. He's going to round second, on his way to third, and the Reds get their second triple of the last 2 games. Heisey had a triple to right center last night, and of all the unlikeliest, Brian Pena hits one into no man's land towards the 421 sign, Chris.
Well, fresh off his sprint race with Alfredo Simon, he's feeling pretty fast out there right now. This is the bad angle by Hunter Pence. He went out there into the gap and all of a sudden realized, uh-oh, that ball's in the wind and is going to take him out over his head. And because it happened in front of him, there was the reaction from Hudson when he saw that angle that Pence took. So with 2 outs, the Reds have a little bit of insurance run there, 90 feet away.
First triple for Pena, and here comes Schumacher, who singled to lead off the third and has scored the only run of this game thus far. Came on a Billy Hamilton base hit. He bounced out his next time up. From the stretch is Hudson. There's a bouncer to the right side, and that will do it. The Reds will hold on to a 1-0 lead. Big Jim, thanks for coming by and joining us.
Yeah.
Great to have you with the Reds again. Great to have you part of the family again.
Thank you, George. Thanks so much. And Chris, thank you. You bet.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Always
buddy.
a pleasure. You bet.
Back after this. Phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.TV, game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Reds.com today. Time for a Honda game summary. Not much offense on a great pitching day today. Schumacher gets a base hit, sacrificed to second by Bailey, and a double by Hamilton plates him 1-0. Meanwhile, Chris, Homer's been something else.
Well, he has been more than something else. He's been more than what the Giants anticipated. They've seen this before out of Homer Bailey. The only blemish on his mark today, a leadoff walk in the 4th inning. Other than that, zeros across the board, even in the hit column for Homer Bailey. He is out there dealing again.
And you know the story of this week here in San Francisco. Tim Lincecum started the week with his second career no-hitter. And he joined a list that Homer is also on. 2 no-hitters among active pitchers. Verlander and Mark Burley also on that list. And within the same calendar year, Bailey and Nolan Ryan and Sandy Koufax, the only to do it within the same calendar year. Although Jim would have been on that list too, because he had 2 in 1 year. Had Johnny Lewis 10th inning homer not changed the direction of that game. So in tied at third is Frasier. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Reds, 3 left on. Zip, 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 zip for the Giants as we go to the 7th. Here's Gregor Blanco. Blanco flied out. The only base runner the Giants have had was Blanco in the 4th. He walked and then was out trying to steal, going from 2nd to 3rd. Hunter Pence on deck. Center field, Hamilton there. 1 away in the 7th. And every pitcher, yourself included, when you go into a game, you know there's one guy who traditionally gives you trouble. And for Homer on this club, it's Pence. Pence has always been around 300 against Homer. Today, Homer's handled him, bounced back to the pitcher, and he grounded to short.
Well, Pence is a guy that will hit a really good pitcher's pitch in a place you don't expect it. But he's very good at hitting mistake pitches, especially up and out over the plate.
Missing for ball 1. Posey on deck. Ooh. Strike zone getting smaller in the 7th. 2-0. For a strike, 2-1.
Can't lay it out there any better than that.
Down to 3rd, but foul count evens up at 2-2. You mentioned it about a month ago, Chris, the little tweak that Homer made to his windup that took him back to where he used to be.
Well, and it really is about him putting his hands over his head in his delivery, and I think it might have come more out of the fact that they thought that perhaps he was tipping his pitches. The word around the major leagues gets pretty quick, and it could have been all false. It could have been just a false alarm, but you know, when you hear a rumor like this, you go back and you look at video and you say, well, maybe he is and maybe he's not. I don't think there's anything definitive there, but I think that in order to make sure that they took that part of out of the equation, they had him go back over his head, and he feels comfortable doing it. Simple as that.
A manageable 70 pitches so far here in the 7th inning for Homer Bailey. Dirt, and we'll go full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Both dugouts up at the top of the step watching this guy deliver here in the 7th. Just hanging in there. Homer wanted that one.
He hasn't had too many at bats like this Homer has, and not when you've got the type of pitch count that he has in the 7th inning, 72. This is about the best at bat any Giant has given Homer all day long.
3-2. Got him. Strikeout number 5 for Homer.
We had a line drive out for the first time when Posey came up. Last time was a strikeout. Let's take a look at that at bat. Pitch by Homer Bailey. Got ahead of him. I mean, challenged him with a fastball. Does it again, the identical spot. And he's not going to give anything else to Posey, it doesn't seem, until he throws that little splitter right there. And Posey, after seeing 3 fastballs at 95, jumps a little bit out ahead of that one and gets strike 3. Or Mazda pitch by pitch.
One ball to Buster. The line drive to left and that strikeout. And that really the only inning where he had any threat at all. It started with a Gregor Blanco walk. Went to second on a ground ball to short and then tried to steal third. And Posey struck out on the next pitch. That ended the inning. Line drive. First hit of the afternoon goes to Buster Posey. You talk about adjustments, Chris, and Posey made the adjustment there.
Well, you know, he got a fastball out over the plate, and, you know, Homer's aware of what was going on here. He had a no-hitter, only one batter away from a perfect game here through 6 2/3 innings, and he makes a mistake there, probably, to Posey, gets it out over the dish, and Posey's a good hitter. I mean, he's got to take what Homer's giving him right there, and he gets a fastball away, and he takes it right there to right field. That's the first thing that Giants fans and another sellout 291 in a row have had anything to crow about.
So Posey's on, and here's Sandoval. Bounced to second and struck out. Michael Morse on deck with 2 away. Final, Colorado did beat the Brew Crew 10-4. So if the Reds can hang on, they can move to within 6.5 of Milwaukee in the Central. Wide, and it's 2-0. Meanwhile, the Dodgers now lead St. Louis 6-0. The Dodgers have moved to within 1 of the Giants in the West.
Boy, 2 pretty good players right there, Otto and Posey.
With great respect for each other.
You know, the one thing that I think that they wanted Homer Bailey to do a little bit more is to emulate what Johnny Cueto and Alfredo Simon have done, which is mix in that slower curveball a little bit more. Give him a bigger spread between the slowest pitch he throws and the fastest pitch he throws. And that philosophy has really worked, although you can see now that he's kind of smelling the end of this inning. Those last 2 pitches have been at 95.
You know, we were talking about, you mentioned Juan Marichal to Jim Maloney, and maybe one of the greatest games ever was Marichal against Spahn, 16 innings. Willie Mays won it, and Spahny always came up with the line, you know, hitting is timing, pitching is disrupting timing, and that spread disrupts timing. I think, you know, Jim talked about 187 pitches in his no-hitter. Marichal, I think, threw 222 pitches in that 16-inning game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And on the hands, is there going to be room? It's in the seats.
It's a lot harder now than it used to be. When we were talking about Homer tipping his pitches, it used to be that you would have to pick something up in real time. Now every ball club has teams of interns that are watching video after video, looking for some kind of trend or looking for some little thing that you do different on a slider than a fastball.
Looped into left center, long run. Will he get there? No. It drops in front of Hamilton, and going all the way to third is Posey. With 2 outs, Posey was running. Hamilton came a long, long way to get there. He glanced twice at Cozart to see if he was going to get a shot at it. By the time Billy got there, too late.
You've got 3 pretty good athletes coming together right there. Schumacher was playing fairly deep. You had to play him deep. Billy Hamilton was unsure, I think, whether Cozart was going to get there or not.
Great effort by Hamilton, who was shaded over towards right center. He had a long way to come. So now the tying run's at third. The go-ahead run at first for Michael Morse. The two hardest hit balls of the afternoon came from Posey in the first and Morse in the second. Morse lined out to Schumacher in the second. Sandoval and Posey back-to-back singles. Swing and a miss for strike one. Get him to go fishing, and is it a strike? It is. 0-2. Pretty good call.
Well, now it puts you way out ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. You can expand the zone here. Think about where you're going to miss. Boy.
Got him.
Frozen.
Great bounce back by Homer Bailey. As Jim Maloney said, you got to come up with big pitches when you need it. Homer needed it there. He's clinging to a 1-0 lead. His no-hitter is gone, but his lead is still there.
San Francisco Giants, we go to the top of the 8th inning, and it has been Homer Bailey dealing against the Giants this afternoon. And when he needed to strike out runners at first and third, he dials it up at 97 miles an hour. The hardest that he has thrown a fastball all day long, and that is our flamethrower, brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce.
97 probably looked like 101 after Morse was looking for that breaking ball away, huh?
That's a spot really where it looked like Homer may have missed his spot out over the plate, and because he's doing so hard, though, that helps.
Cozart to short. Crawford has it, and Cozart's retired. Zach 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and that ground ball out.
Crawford has had the kind of day defensively that Cozart had last night. He's been involved in a lot of ground balls, but not nearly as many, but he's a pretty good glove man.
11 for Cozart last night, a career high for him. Crawford kind of reminds you a little bit of our old friend Chris Spire. Just a solid offensive and defensive shortstop and a great teammate. Here's Homer. Sacrifice. He had a key part in that 3rd inning. You talk about helping yourself. Schumacher led off on a 3-2 pitch with a base hit to center. Cozart struck out. Homer sacrificed him to second, and then Billy Hamilton doubled to center to make it 1-0, and that's where we stand. A run, 4 hits for the Reds, no runs, 2 hits for the Giants. Big breaking ball drops in there. Homer's been great, and Tim Hudson hasn't been very far behind him on this afternoon. Don't forget, reservations for the Fan Express to Reds Country are filling up fast, so get your group on board the Fan Express. Call Reds Group Sales at 513-765-7600. Now, we ought to really rent the Fan Express and bring the crew in. Get Jesse to drive it.
Rent.
Put it on your credit card.
Can I use the Fox Ohio credit card to rent the Fox Ohio Fan Express?
You could try. You see
run
Jesse,
that one by Tom Farmer and see what happens.
Did you see Jesse with the hat on driving that bus?
I think we get Jim Day to do that. He looks a lot more like a bus driver.
I'd rather have JD on this day be the custodian with a broom at the end of the day.
I'm not so sure that they were allowing him to bring the Nimbus 2014 with him on this trip.
2 balls, no strikes to Billy. Hamilton bounced out, doubled in the Reds' run, and then bounced to second. Jeremy Affeldt trotting down to the bullpen for the Giants. Hudson is due up 4th in the next inning. 2-1. Sandoval 3 steps onto the grass at 3rd. Duvall even with the bag at 1st. Breaking ball in there. 2-2. Now they'll both drop back. Going full. Reds would love to get Hamilton on and try to get him into scoring position to put an insurance run on the board here. Slap foul the other way and out of play. Dodgers now lead the Cardinals 6-0 down in LA. Reds leave here, go to San Diego, where the Padres have won today. Oh, they're in the 7th now, 2-1 over Arizona. Hudson's pitched great on this day. 1 run, the only difference. Hudson and Bailey have been hooked up in a dandy. Homer back to work. Duvall will lead it off. The Reds with a 1-0 lead. Say hi to the dancing dog, our John Morrell hot dog play of the game. It came early in a key defensive effort by Skip Schumacher off a bullet off the bat of Posey. 1 step from the wall, he hauls this down, or this game could look differently right now. Number 25, also a key offensively. He led off with a base hit in the third, sacrificed to second, and he scored on the Billy Hamilton hit, and that's where we stand, 1-0 Reds. Here's Duvall, 0 for 2. Struck out to become the first strikeout victim of Bailey back in the second, and then a fly ball out. Schumacher circling, got it. 1 away. You know, we talk about the no-hitter that Homer tossed against the Giants, and also the day-to-day, Chris, but against overall the West, he's been pretty good.
Well, the maturing of a young man that just came up as very raw pitcher, but he's been getting better and better as far as handling the pressure of pitching in big cities. I mean, when you play the NL West, you're talking about Phoenix, you're talking about LA, San Francisco, and he's pitched very well against the Padres, and he has obviously no-hit the Giants before, and they think he's got the best stuff in baseball when he throws his glove out there. And he's on top of his game today. That's an example of what we talked about. They're getting that slow pitch in there first pitch. His curveball today is run anywhere from 77 to 79 miles an hour. And it really helps make that fastball look like a blistering fastball when you can add about 15 to 18 miles an hour to it. Like that. You go from 79 to 96. Really hard for hitters to catch up. And I say that because that's what happened with Johnny Cueto, mixing in slow pitches. Alfredo Simon last night threw a pitch at 70 miles an hour and then topped out about 95.
2-0. Big swing from Brandon Crawford for a strike. 2-1. Manny Parra and Logan Andrusik now up and loosening in the bullpen with bullpen coach Mac Jenkins. Been a while since Parra has been on the mound. Dribble foul to the right side. Count evens 2-2.
Well, they hope they don't have to use him. Of course, after having used Aroldis Chapman 4 days in a row, he's not available today. Bailey at 91 pitches. You're trying to think ahead with your Brian Price. Well, you know, Bailey gets through this inning, then why not send him out in the ninth inning?
Nasty. Swing and a miss. Crawford 0 for 3. Second out of the 8th inning.
You got to ask yourself, I mean, who down in that bullpen, you know, who's going to answer the phone is going to give you as good a stuff as what Bailey's taking to the mound today. And Bailey's in the flow of the game.
And look at the Fox box, Chris, on the location of those pitches.
Yeah.
Man, all three of them right at the knees or below. 6 strikeouts for Homer, and here's the rookie Joe Panik. That stays fair. Votto has it. Bailey there. And the magic wand continues to work for Homer. Gave up 2 hits in the 7th, but a 1-2-3-8 to the 9th we go. Frasier will lead it off. Reds lead 1-0. Oakland 1-0. And who was the man who gave us the Nissan drive of the game? Billy Hamilton. Schumacher single, sacrificed to second, and the man with the happy feet chases him home. Our Nissan drive of the game, Billy Hamilton's base hit. And you talk about his speed on the bases and his defense. He was 1 for 3 in game 1, 3 for 5 in game 2, 3 for 6 in game 3. And after that 12-game hitting streak, Chris, he's 1 for 4 again today. Thank you, Billy. Here's Frasier. Bounced out, single to left. Reds would love to put an insurance run on the board here as Jeremy Affeldt starts to loosen again in the bullpen and Santiago Casilla joins him. When we go to the 9th, the pitcher spot due up. I mean, Bailey's been great, but Hudson's been matching him and right behind him, Chris.
Well, he has, and he's looking for his second complete game of the year. Hudson is. Ironically, his other complete game was also a loss. I mean, if he gets one here, chances are it's going to be a loss, although not necessarily. He went 8 2/3 innings against the Pirates before they had a walk-off win against him in Pittsburgh. Gave up a triple and an error behind him, and that was the ball game.
2 balls, 1 strike. By the way, we haven't had a chance to talk about it much, but the Pirates, a major move at the end of their bullpen. Jason Grilli, the trade. Were you surprised at that?
I think everybody was surprised at that. Ernesto Frieri was also a closer, kind of on the outs with the Los Angeles Angels. So they just essentially flipped guys that were struggling, thinking that maybe a change of atmosphere is going to help both of them. I think Grilli's got something left. But he was being booed pretty consistently there in Pittsburgh because of some of the blown saves.
Bullet through the left side, another multi-hit game for Todd Frazier. 2 for 4 for Frazier, and he continues his hot hitting against San Francisco. He's over 400 this year, and for his career 386, and here at AT&T Park he's also over 400. And that looks like it'll be it for Hudson. He'll get a nice round of applause from another sellout crowd here. The Reds trying to play add-on. Hudson exits. He's allowed the 1 run. And the runner on first, his responsibility. While the pitching change takes place, time for our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Reminder, America's News Sports Network is the place to turn before every slam, every goal, every game with America's pregame only on Fox Sports 1. Tune into America's pregame weeknights at 6 Eastern Time only on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports Go. And don't forget, after every Reds game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game, brings you the first interviews with Reds manager Brian Price. We'll go into the clubhouse to hear from the players, win, lose, or draw, and hopefully a smiling scoreboard on this day. Reds Live brought to you by Performance Kings Honda, and it's been a couple of lengthy nights for the guys back at the studio, but they'll be there. Jeff Picoro, Brian Giesenslaw, Green Weaver, Ron Millenor, and the crew will bring us our post game. And of course, great to have you with us here from San Francisco. Our producer Josh Hall, our director Brian Hunterman, Matt Sigafus dialing up some highlights, and Lauren White with some graphics. And here's the new pitcher, Chris, former Red Jeremy Affeldt.
Affeldt is usually good for 60 to 70 games a year. Very dependable, durable left-hander. Of course, he made a run through Cincinnati 1 year. The Reds used him for 74 games in that one. 31 games this year, so right at the halfway point, he's right on schedule.
Joey Votto fouls this off.
The thing that separates Affeldt from a lot of left-handed specialists is that he throws the ball really hard for a lefty. He has his whole career. Low to mid-90s, and he has a big, hard breaking ball. A lot of left-handed specialists come in with a lot of sloppy stuff and just try to fool you. Affeldt can throw that fastball by you.
Votto 1 for 7 in his matchups against Affeldt. And the other part that makes Jeremy unique, and it really the turnaround started in 2008 in Cincinnati. He started to get right-handers out. So not just a lefty specialist. No balls, 2 strikes to Joey. Votto bounced out, flied out, bounced out, 0 for 3. Jonathan Broxton loosening the bullpen for the Reds. This one slap foul.
And what was the call on that? Was that foul or not? Is he calling a balk? Well, Frasier's moved down to second base, and there's no argument really. There's some griping going on from the Giants dugout. There must have been a call to balk prior to.
From first.
Prior to the pitch.
Votto loops this one to left. It'll be first and third with no one out for the Reds. So 2 singles to left and a balk in between, and the Reds have first and third, nobody out, and here's Brandon.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Giants want to play this one. I imagine they're going to bring the infield in and not even trade a run for a double play ball right here. And that's what they're going to do. Shortstop playing in, second baseman in. So they're not going to be able to turn to.
Now they're playing him halfway right now. We'll see where they keep him. Frasier down at third, Votto down at first. Here's Brandon. Phillips 0 for 3, a fly ball, a pop up, and a ground out. In his matchups, 1 for 10 against Affeldt. And Bruce on deck for the Reds.
Yeah, a lot different approach, though, you can take when all you need is a fly ball to the outfield to get a run in. And a very important run it is.
And with the second baseman pinched and the first baseman holding the runner, a big hole on the right side. That'll kick away. Frasier stops as Posey gets around and covers it only 15 feet away. So Frasier holds at third, going to second as Votto in at second and third.
That's a good job by Frasier.
Yep.
I mean, he's always has to remember in his mind, and he gets no help from the third base coach on that play. You got to remember what the situation is, who's up, where you are in the order. You're at 4 and 5 right now. You got nobody out. You're already in command of this ball game. Don't run yourself out of an inning by being too aggressive.
No balls, 2 strikes. That's wide. And that's what made the move by Gregor Blanco so questioning back in the 4th. He had his best hitter, Posey, at the plate. He's on second, and he tries to steal third and gets thrown out trying to steal third, leaving Posey sitting there.
Toot blands don't normally work out.
No. Up high. from Montreal. Two and two. No longer halfway. Second and short now at the edge of the grass. Did he go? And we'll go full 3 and 2.
Hey, what, you know, this is a great ballpark to watch a game in. These fans are into it. I mean, they are watching every pitch. This is a great fan base, and one of the reasons why it's exciting to be here and watch a game at AT&T Park.
Good call. Phillips holds, and it's 3-2.
A lot of them did not agree with that call, but I think they got it right.
Full count, second and third for the Reds. Cincinnati trying to play add-on. Hanging in there is Phillips. Brian Price trying to do something the Reds have not done since the 70s. Sweep 4 in San Francisco for Cincinnati. Half-felt to the stretch. Right field. Here comes Pence. Tagging at third is Frasier. The throw will come in. Won't be nearly in time, and it's wide, and the Reds on a sacrifice fly from Brandon, who continues to deliver on the West Coast swing, take a 2-0 lead.
Really good at bat by Brandon, because Affel kept pounding the bottom of the zone, got him swinging the sliders, and Brandon just stayed alive by fouling a couple off, and finally running the count full. He had to throw him a strike and got the ball up, and that's the one that Brandon hit the right field. It's a big run.
Votto held at second. So there's one away runner at second, and here's Bruce.
He really ought to be on third. That ball came all the way in.
Look
out.
Oh, that hit either on the shoulder or the top of the helmet of Bruce, and Jay will go down to first.
No problem there. No malintent anyway. That was a curveball. Looked like it just slipped right out of his hand.
Ooh, looks like it hit the bottom of the helmet, doesn't it? Right, the back of the bottom of the helmet. So that run that scored will be charged to Hudson. And it looks like Jay's okay. So first and second, and here comes Pena. Brian bounced out, and then hit his first triple of the year with 2 outs in the 7th. He was left stranded. Just patched the outstretched effort of Pence in right center field. Down the first baseline, off the glove of Duvall. Here comes Votto around third. He'll score. And the Reds, for the second straight day, are coming up with late runs. It's a single for Pena, a run batted in to give the Reds a 3-0 lead. And it'll put runners at first and third.
Now, this is the one thing that the Reds were not doing earlier in the year. When they got a lead, they didn't add on. So it was always a very close ball game down towards the end. A lot of times they lost those one-run games. This time Pena gets a break. That ball goes between the bag and the first baseman. Duvall makes a diving attempt off his glove. Run scores. 3-zip. Looking better and better by the minute.
Here's Schumacher. Single, scored a run in the third and bounced out twice. Broxton loose and ready in the bullpen for the Reds. Off third, Pena off first. First delivery from Affeldt, down and away for ball one. Looks like Homer's day is done, Chris.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not so sure why Broxton would be continuing to throw out there. It's really hard to tell from if you're not in the dugout whether you should keep your starting pitcher in or not. There might be something we don't know about Homer Bailey. Maybe he told him, I'm done. And if he said that, that means he's mentally out of it. I'm not saying he said that, but that could be one of the possibilities. Or it could just be that Brian Price feels more comfortable in going with the guy who has closed a lot of games in his career, Jonathan Broxton. Boy, he is on the edge of coming back home to his hometown and having his Reds sweep the Giants. Imagine what is going through the mind and the chest of Brian Price right now.
Had a great opportunity to spend a couple of days with his mom. He, of course, lost his dad. And so many memories as he came back here. He would go to Old Candlestick Park with his dad so often. His dad would get tickets from work and they'd sit and watch National League baseball. Spent time visiting with his mom and recharge the batteries here. And recharging has also included 3 wins so far on the trip here.
Just think about all the different scenarios that could have happened. You know, Brian Price gets named manager. The schedule comes out. He looks at it and immediately looks as to when is he going back to his hometown. Oh, the Reds are playing 4 in San Francisco. What could happen? You know, Reds could get swept. They could have a decent series and take 2 out of 4. But I don't think he ever thought in his wildest imagination that he would be on the edge of seeing his team take 4 in a row from the Giants, who were in first place when they got here. And if this game continues as they will, and if the Dodger games continues as they are, and that is 6-0 Dodgers over the Cardinals, the Giants and the Dodgers will be tied for first, and the Reds and the Cardinals will be tied for second.
It's a roller coaster of 162. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Schumacher. Spoils another one. We'll try it again.
Now the Brewers have lost. Cardinals are losing 6-0, and the Reds are up 3-0.
That's flagged down by Sandoval. Nothing at second. Tries to go to first, and that's too late.
Think long, think wrong.
Indecision cost the Giants a run and at least 1 out. He looked to home, nothing there. Looked to second, nothing there, and hustling all the way. Schumacher beats the throw to first, and the Reds put on another one on the board, lead it 4-0.
Well, it was a good athletic play by Pablo Sandoval, but not a very good mental play. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say you got to ask yourself what's going to happen if the ball is hit to me, but you know, as an infielder, you have to ask yourself that question. What if it's hit to me hard? What if it's hit to me softly? What if I have to dive for it? Where am I going with it?
It's a game of anticipation as much mentally as physically. And here comes Bochy. That'll be it for Affeldt. So while the pitching change takes place, the Reds have put another one on the board, lead at 4-0. We'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio.
Jim Day down here in the Reds dugout. Now the Reds sent Jonathan Broxton to the bullpen knowing that they thought Homer Bailey was going to go to the hill in the 9th inning, so warming up Broxton just in case. Now, I watched Homer Bailey enough throughout his career. Right now, I'd say he's going back out there. In fact, he just stepped into the on-deck circle, so we will see what happens. But Jonathan Broxton, just in case, warming up. So I think that's your answer, boys. But that was before that they put a 3 spot on the board. We'll see if Homer indeed hits for himself.
Good job, JD. Here's Cozart 0 for 3. You know, Jim, we've been coming here a lot of years, and the old ballpark, the new ballpark, and very seldom have you been able to experience what you've seen this week in San Francisco, huh?
Well, man, this weather day today is unbelievable right now. And boy, the good fortunes continue for Cincinnati.
Off Casillas' glove. It'll be an error on the pitcher, and the bases will be loaded. Now, Chris, it's amazing how this game goes. We talk about the roller coaster of a season, and here comes Homer to the plate. It was a month ago. The Giants were 9.5 games ahead. They could do no wrong, and they had a great start to their season at home. Since then, they are 4-14. They went from 42-21 to 46-35, and at home they have struggled big time, losing 11 of 13 now. Homer bounces it down to first. They'll get one. It's a tag play at second. And does he get back? Yes, he does, and a run will score. Well, what a great job by Cozart. Once the force was made at first, it was a tag play at second. And Bochy will come out. And they will review it. He went past the bag, and the first decision from Jeff Kellogg was he was missed with the tag, and then Cozart got his hand back into the bag before a second tag. Take another look. So we'll have our third review of the series. Bochy is win one, lose one so far. Does he get him? Yeah, looks like he got the shoulder.
Yeah, we're seeing it on the big screen here at the ballpark, and maybe a little different angle than what we've shown you at home. It looks like he got him on the helmet as he slid in and then missed his body, but I'm not so sure that the second base umpire, Jeff Kellogg, saw the helmet touch. But even if this is out, it'll be a double play, but the Reds still score another run.
Yeah, it looks like the helmet and the shoulder. And I think the out was made, even though it was a tag before he actually crossed the plate. I don't think the run will score.
I thought he would beat it out.
Very close. Now the decision comes. He is out at second. And the run did not score. The home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn, never indicated that the run had scored prior to the tag. So the tag made just prior to the runner crossing home plate. So we're going to the bottom of 9. The Reds will try to put the capper on what is a 5-0 lead. Sports Ohio has been brought to you by Chevy. Visit your tri-state Chevy dealer today. And by Cincinnati Children's Hospital, who ranks 3rd in the country on United States News and World Report's 2014 Best Children's Hospitals. One last look at that last play. The ground ball down to first. The tag at second is made, and look in concert as you look at home plate. The tag made prior to the runner crossing home plate. So the out made the final out of the inning prior to the runner scoring, and the end result is a 4-0 lead for the Reds. And Homer will try to wrap things up with a complete game effort as we go to the bottom of inning 9. Those extra 3 runs sure put a lot more comfort into this 9th inning, Chris.
There's no doubt about it, but Homer Bailey still has to come out, pump strikes.
There's Tyler Colvin, who will pinch hit in the 9th spot in the order. So the final numbers on Hudson will be 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, no walks, 106 pitchers. Affeldt ends up giving up 3 hits and 2 runs, and the Reds lead it 4-0. On the corner for a strike. Homer starts the inning, and Broxton still ready and loosened in the bullpen if needed. Hit hard. Cozart bounces up the throw. Got it. Zach Cozart gave Bailey exactly what he wanted, and Bailey points at him as if to say, thanks, buddy. That starts the inning the right way.
Well, you're not kidding about that. That ball hit very hard by Tyler Colvin up the middle. I'm sure off the bat Bailey's thinking, oh, that's a base hit. And there's a guy who was there all night last night with his defense. 11 assists. And a dandy right there to start off the 9th. Man, these guys can play some D.
Boy. And we say it so often, the numbers show the Reds the best defensive team in baseball, but when the plays come and how they come, that's even more impressive than the numbers. Here's Blanco. For most of the afternoon, Blanco was the only base runner the Giants had. He walked in the 4th. Went to second on a ground ball, and then was out trying to steal 3rd. Homer Bailey went to the 7th inning with 2 outs before the Giants got their first hit. It was a base hit by Buster Posey. Posey and Sandoval each singled in the 7th. They were left stranded. Those are the first 2 hits against Homer, who's already sitting home with 2 no-hitters on his mantle. He came close to number 3 here. Great to have Jim Maloney with us to talk about, and Chris, the 2 of you off the air were talking about the maturation of this young man. Jim has spent a lot of time with him over the years, just talking baseball and talking pitching, and you've watched him mature. Hard down to second. Phillips has it. What's the difference in Homer right now from where he was earlier this year?
Well, you know what? Today's an exceptional game for Homer, the best he's thrown all year long. I really think that Homer Bailey looks around the rest of this rotation and feels like the odd guy out. Everybody else has been seemingly going out there and dealing. Certainly Alfredo Simon and Johnny Cueto. Last few starts have been good for Leake, and he wants to get part of that party. He doesn't want to be the one guy in the rotation that they look at as the weak link, because he's got his eyes set on being the ace of this staff. And he certainly has #1 starter stuff if you want to evaluate it like that. And hey, this starting pitching staff, Homer Bailey pitches like this, man, you got something.
1 ball to Pence. Bounced back to Homer, bounced to short and struck out. Was there an adjustment period after he signed the 6-year contract that he had to learn to live with that? Did that have an effect early?
I really couldn't tell you that. I don't know. I never have talked to Homer about that. I don't think that's something that he would ever admit to, even if it did. I just think it was him just making some bad pitches. But I think he realized the importance of this ball game to the Reds from a mental standpoint. I mean, if you win 3 out of 4, that's pretty doggone good on the road. But if you win 4 out of 4, you are showing dominance. And he wanted to go out there today and be the guy that can carry the torch to be dominant.
They're on the threshold of 6 of 7 on this trip, with 3 more still to come in San Diego. That's a base hit to right by Pence. 3rd hit of the afternoon for the Giants. And now Homer at 105 pitches on the afternoon. And here's Posey.
Well, the pitch count right now means nothing. I think that Homer stays in the ball game until the tying run comes to the dish.
Buster today lined to left on an outstanding defensive play by Schumacher, robbed him of a double. He struck out in the 4th, and he singled to right in the 7th. That was the first hit that Homer allowed on this afternoon in San Francisco. Votto will play behind Pence at first, so he'll take off to second. This one blooped to the right side. Is there going to be room? It's at the edge of the dugout steps. Don't forget, the West Coast trip continues. Monday at San Diego, Matt Latos. He heads back to the place where he started his major league career against Jesse Hahn. Reds live at 9:30. Tuesday, Mike Leake against Ian Kennedy. Reds live at 9:30. Then Wednesday, Johnny Cueto against Tyson Ross. Reds live at 3 o'clock. Off day Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday back home against Milwaukee. Pence going. This one hit the center. Back is Hamilton, and he's got it. What a day for Homer Bailey. What a road trip for the Cincinnati Reds here in San Francisco. For the first time since 1972, they have swept the Giants in San Francisco, and a smiling scoreboard for the Reds on this day.
Well, it was a well-deserved ball game today. Homer Bailey took control of this game really right from the very first inning, and he had to, because Tim Hudson was every bit as good except for one run there that the Reds got in the 3rd. But to come in here and to win 4 straight games from the team that was in first place and took you when they were playing in Great American Ballpark 2 out of 3 earlier this year, that's a pretty good statement for Brian Price and his team right now.
Our Miller